has a gift of one sort or another. And as far as I'm concerned, that means you're gifted. And the only question is, do you know what your gift is? And are you using it? So maybe you're a talented artist or a singer or a writer, or perhaps you're a psychic or a healer or superb listener. Maybe you're an excellent teacher or leader or advocate for other people. Whatever your gift is, you wouldn't have come into this lifetime if you weren't meant to use it in some way. So for me, my gift is writing for sure. And there have been times when I have not used it, at least not used it as much as I would like to. And my coach, Jim Fortin, pointed it out to me that you wouldn't have been given a gift if you weren't meant to use it. And his words confirmed what I already knew. Like, I know writing is my gift, and I know that I need to use that gift, and that's why I'm here, and that's how I fulfill my purpose. And I've used my gift over the years, but as I said, but in the last decade or so, I really chose to make other things more important than using my written words to make a positive, meaningful difference in the world. And I allowed circumstances and self-doubt and other people's opinions and fear to stop me from writing and specifically publishing new books. Like I said, I never stopped writing completely, but I wasn't putting the work out into the world the way I really knew I was supposed to. But now I know better. And when you know better, you can do better, right? In fact, I've been working on all my book projects, or on several of my book projects, and started to pursue publication. And each time I do something related to writing and publishing, I'm happy and I'm excited. So I know I'm on course. I know this is aligned with me. I know this is the right path. And I know I'm using my gift. And as a result, that I will, be able to fulfill my purpose. So I decided to talk about, what stops you from using your gifts. And I came up with 10 reasons that you might not use your gifts. And I'll not only give you the reasons, which really are excuses, but I won't just give you those. I will also give you some information on how to get past those reasons. So first, let me say that I've always encouraged my children and clients to pursue their passions and use their talents. And as a result, my son became a professional dancer, and my daughter became a props artisan for the theater. And of course, as I said, I've pursued my gift. I became a magazine journalist, and later an editor and a blogger and an author. But a lot of people hold back, and they feel restricted and don't fully use their gifts. And maybe you can relate to that. That's probably why you're watching this video. And if that is you, it's not a lack of ability that stops you from using your gifts. It could be that you don't know what your gifts are, but usually what you're passionate about and good at, these are your gifts, right? A lot of times external factors and interior barriers internal barriers prevent you from pursuing these gifts that you have. So what inhibits you from using your gifts fully? Have you thought about it? What stops you from showing the world your talents? So as I said, I came up with 10 reasons, and we're going to explore those, okay? So that you cannot let them stop you in the future. So the first one is fear of failure. Fear of failure represents the most prevalent reason why you probably don't use your gifts. I mean, you might be afraid of how others are going to perceive you, or that if you try, you're going to fail, or you might fear, not meeting people's expectations. Generally, fear paralyzes you. It stops you from taking action and pursuing opportunities that could allow you to develop and use your gifts. And so to overcome this particular reason, fear, take the age-old advice. Feel the fear and do it anyway. In other words, take some bold action. Be courageous. All right, number 2 is lack of self-confidence. This is another reason why people don't use their gifts. So if you lack confidence in your ability to use your gifts, you might feel like it's not okay to express them, or like you're unable to express them. Confidence is a belief in your abilities, right? In your gifts, in your talents. And without that belief, you're not going to feel comfortable showcasing your talents or you may even downplay your gifts, say that they're not real, right? Or you don't have them. You need confidence to embrace and leverage your talents. So increased confidence helps you take advantage of opportunities for growth and recognition of your gifts. So it seems counterintuitive, I know, but using your gifts helps you actually gain confidence. So even if at first you don't achieve success, or the success you were looking for, try again. Keep practicing your art, using your gifts and sharing them, and you will see success. Okay, number 3 is negative self-talk. Your internal self-talk impacts your actions and your behaviors. Negative self-talk can increase your fear, your self-doubt, your lack of confidence, and so it makes it challenging to put your unique gifts to use. So stop telling yourself that you aren't gifted, aren't good enough, don't have talent, are going to fail if you try, or that others are going to criticize or judge you and your gift. Instead, tell yourself you're gifted, you're good enough, you're talented, and you can succeed no matter what anyone else says or thinks about your gift. In fact, success is an inside job. It's an inside conversation between you and you, not you and anyone else. Okay, number 4 is external pressure. External pressure from friends, family, people that you see as influencers, society, that can hinder your use of your gifts. Because often these kind of pressures show up as verbal expectations or judgments around what you should be doing with your gift or with your time, with your energy, with your talent. And the people you respect and who have influence with you can clearly steer you away from pursuing your gifts. They can, if you let them. But if you listen to your heart and your intuition and you stand in your power, you're going to know what actions are aligned with your gifts. And you're going to find certainty. You're going to know you're here to use your gifts. Plus, other people's opinions say more about them than about you. And your interpretation of your gifts are what matters. Their interpretation of your gifts are only theirs, and they're probably not accurate. Okay, number 5 is procrastination. Procrastination is just a way to avoid your gifts. So typically, it's an avoidance mechanism based in fear. And you avoid what you fear, such as failure or judgment, right? So procrastination is just your way of avoiding fear. And you already realize that delaying action on using your gifts impedes your ability to use them, right? So procrastination limits your ability to show off your unique talents and to jump at any opportunities that are presented to develop your gifts and your talents. So what's the remedy? Stop procrastinating. Take action. That's it. Use your gifts, even if it's small baby steps. Just do something. Okay, number 6 is lack of focus. Another reason for not using your gifts. If you're afraid to use your gifts or believe other people won't approve of you doing that, you may focus your attention on other things, on other endeavors. And this is a bit like procrastination. So for instance, you could decide your circumstances need your attention more than figuring out how to express your talents, or you might lack clarity about, if or how to use your gifts. And so you put your attention on other tasks. So until you focus on your gifts, you'll feel challenged to use them effectively. So you need to dedicate energy and attention on using your talents. Get clear what your gifts really are and how you want to use them. And that's going to prevent you from drifting aimlessly and making very little progress. All right, number 7 is comparison to others, or comparison. Comparison kills motivation. Constantly comparing yourself to others who share a similar gift can make you feel as if you aren't as good as them, and therefore you shouldn't even try to use your gift in a similar way. But I want you to keep in mind that your gifts are uniquely yours. and theirs are theirs. So no one's talents are exactly the same. So measuring yourself or your worth or the worth of your gift or skill, the ability of your skills against someone else's just sheds negative light on your own capabilities and potential. I mean, I suppose it can also shed positive light, right? Because if you deem yourself better, then, excuse me, it's allergy season. And I was outside just a little while ago, so excuse me. So yeah, so comparison, measuring yourself up against somebody else and your gifts against somebody else can shed negative light on your capabilities, but it could also shed positive light. That's true. But what I want you to do is to stop comparing yourself to anyone else, because what you want to do, if you're going to compare your current skill level or your gifts or whatever with what you'd like to achieve. So compare yourself against yourself or against your aspirations, right? All right, number 8 is comfort zone. Comfort zone. You can't share your gifts from your comfort zone. You just can't, because you've been here in your comfort zone, keeping them under wraps, and that's comfortable to you now, to just keep your gifts under wraps. So to bring them out into the open requires getting a little uncomfortable. But discomfort is necessary for growth, and your evolution occurs outside familiar territory. So you have to leave complacency and comfort behind and push on your boundaries. A little discomfort goes a long way if you want to become someone who shares their gifts. Okay, number 9 is lack of support. So getting a little encouragement from the people who you care about or respect can make a lot of difference when you're trying to do something new, right? In fact, a lack of encouragement and support often poses an obstacle for people who are trying to do something different, like sharing their gifts. So here's the thing, though, that the need for cheerleaders is really similar to succumbing to external pressure, which I already talked about. That was one of our other reasons, right? And so in both cases, you're allowing your choices to be influenced, and how you feel about yourself and your gifts to be influenced by something outside yourself. So if you want or need support before sharing your gifts, you're looking for external validation of some sort. So support, I will say that support makes things easier. It does make it easier to go out there and do something new, like share your gifts. So it's important to surround yourself with people who believe in your abilities and are going to cheer you on. Just don't choose to spend time with the naysayers, right? All right, and the last reason for not sharing your gifts is perfectionism. Aiming for excellence, is a great goal. It really is. However, in most cases, it's an unrealistic pursuit. A need to be perfect, before you express or show your gifts to the world leads to feeling inadequate. So again, we're back to being inadequate. And not only that, perfectionism is an avoidance technique. Perfect, air quotes, is an almost impossible standard. So if you're waiting for your talents or the product of your gifts to be perfect before releasing them to the world, you're never going to do that. So perfectionism tends to relate to fear. And so be okay with putting out version 1.0, and though there'll likely be a version 2.0, but releasing your gifts to the world helps you perfect them. It always makes me think about the tech industry that, puts out new phones or whatever and waits for the users to figure out what needs to be fixed, and then they put out the next version. Anyway, you realize that your reasons are thinly veiled excuses. If you used any of these reasons as an explanation or justification for not sharing your gifts, it's time to stop making excuses, is it not? Any of the strategies above that I've shared are going to help you start using and sharing your gifts. But if you still feel challenged to do that, know that the only thing standing between you sharing your gifts, using them, and sharing them is you, specifically your habits and your beliefs. And you can deep dive into some sort of personal growth or personal development, like reading a book, taking a course, hiring a coach, and that's going to help you get over that hurdle. okay? So finally, keep this in mind. Your gifts are meant to be used and shared. And if that weren't true, you wouldn't have been given them in the first place. So use your gifts, okay? I would love to know if you're doing that. Are you using your gifts? Do you know what they are? If not, why aren't you doing that? Tell me in a comment down below, okay? So I am Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I'm a certified high performance coach as well as an intuitive transformational coach. I love to help people step into being someone who can, for instance, use their gifts, who can take the action necessary to create what they want by using their gifts. So really, it's all about who you're being in the world and whether you're taking actions aligned with that identity. And that identity then has to be one that can get the results you want, the inspired results that you want, right? Because you are a creator, and when you get inspired, when you're in spirit, you're spiritually guided, and when you take actions based on that intuition or spiritual guidance or whatever, you're going to get inspired results. And those are your creations that you really want and that matter to you. So if that's of interest to you, click on the link above and check out transformational coaching from me. I'll also put a link up above right next to it or right after it for certified high performance coaching. And I would love to help you step into being someone who can create what matters to you. So if that's of interest, click on one of the links above or both the links above and check it out. And if you have questions, you can email me or just go on over to ninaamir.com. You can sign up for a free 15-minute session with me to talk about whatever your challenges are and how I might be able to help you. And lastly, I'll put that link up above as well. So sign up for a free session and let's chat, okay? See if I can be of service to you. Until then, as I always say, go out there and achieve more inspired results.